Hello everyone, my name is Evan Martinez and I'll be talking about beta-alanine today. So to start with some basic information about what it is. Beta-alanine is a dispensable amino acid. The amino group is in the beta position from the carboxylate group. Beta-alanine is found in skeletal muscle and it's used in conjunction with histidine to create carnosine, which reduces lactic acid accumulation during exercise. This is because carnosine serves as a buffer. It means that these compounds play a crucial role in regulating intracellular pH. And also, it's important to note that histidine is found in much higher levels compared to beta-alanine in skeletal muscle. So, moving on, where can it be found in food? It's primarily found in meat, poultry, and fish. It's also mainly found in larger compounds such as carnosine and anserine. Beta-alanine breaks free from these larger compounds during digestion so that we may absorb them. Vegans and vegetarians typically have a lot less carnosine in their body. Obviously, this is because they're not eating meat, poultry, and fish. They can have smaller amounts, upwards of 50% of the normal amounts. Amounts in the body are still relatively low for beta-alanine, especially in comparison to histidine, which might give light to why we might want to supplement with it. Supplementation. Athletes and trainees can substantially increase their beta-alanine levels with supplementation. Again, this is because the beta-alanine concentrations in skeletal muscles are normally relatively low compared to histidine concentrations. The standard recommendation for supplementing with this is 2 to 5 grams a day. And it's important to note that single doses of beta-alanine over 1.6 grams may cause acute bouts of paresthesia. This is just a tingly sensation in the skin. It's the same thing that happens when you sit cross-legged for too long and your feet fall asleep. So if you want to avoid that, again, just take smaller doses throughout the day. It can be found in powder form on its own, or it could also be found in pre-workout supplements and BCAA supplements. Potential benefits of supplementing with beta-alanine are that it might have an overall ergogenic effect on exercise duration, capacity, and performance. There's a decreased time to fatigue from the lactic acid buffering that is created by the carnosine compound. And there can be larger increases in lean body tissue. This is because the athlete or trainee will be experiencing increased training volume because of the attenuation of fatigue. Increases in muscular endurance can also be seen for exercises lasting 60 seconds or longer. So, moving on to research findings. First study I looked at by Hoffman et al. Looked at the effects on strength, power, body composition, and endocrine changes during a 10-week resistance training program. They utilized 3 groups: a creatine alone group, a creatine and beta-alanine group, and a placebo group. The experiment utilized 33 male collegiate football players and used tests to assess strength, power, and body composition before and after supplementation. Again, with the daily recommended dose, the study found that changes in lean body mass and percent body fat were greater, of a p-value of 0.05 in the creatine and beta-alanine group compared to the creatine or placebo groups. Groups creatine and beta-alanine combined and creatine alone saw more significant strength improvements than the placebo group. Obviously, this can be attributed to the creatine they were taking. So overall, this study exemplified the effectiveness of creatine supplementation on strength and body composition, while also showing that beta-alanine could be used to enhance the benefits in these areas. So moving on to my second study by Durave et al. This study looked at 15 male athletes in a placebo-controlled double-blind study supplemented with 4.8 grams a day of beta-alanine, or with a placebo. The aim of the study was to measure if there was an increase in muscle carnosine content with the beta-alanine supplementation. They used proton MRS measurements taken in the gastrocnemius and the soleus in order to measure intramuscular carnosine content. They used isokinetic knee extensions and 400-meter indoor sprint tests to measure performance before and after supplementation. So the findings of this study were that there was a 47% increase in muscle carnosine content in the soleus and 37% in the gastrocnemius in the group that was consuming beta-alanine, that 4.8 grams a day. Now, the group that was taking the placebo didn't see an increase in muscle carnosine content with the soleus, but they did see a 16% increase in carnosine content in the gastrocnemius. There was also no increase in performance seen before and after in the exercise tests, that being the knee extension test and the 400-meter sprint, but there was an increase in the time it took those athletes to fatigue. So in conclusion, beta-alanine supplementation may help with time to fatigue in bouts of exhaustive dynamic exercises. So to conclude, exercise lasting between 30 seconds and 10 minutes seems to benefit the most in terms of fatigue attenuation. That being said, that only occurs when adequate beta-alanine supplementation is being used. Again, this is 2 to 5 grams a day. If athletes or trainees taking beta-alanine want to avoid the paresthesia effect that large single doses of beta-alanine might have on their body, they can distribute their doses throughout the day in smaller amounts, ranging from 0.8 to 1.4 grams each single dose. Supplementing with this amino acid will potentially dramatically increase one's carnosine levels in skeletal muscle, leading to a greater buffering capacity within the muscle. Again, this is because carnosine is the buffer, and beta-alanine works with histidine to create carnosine. And there are much larger histidine levels already normally in the body compared to beta-alanine, so supplementing would increase the levels and increase the pairing of histidine and beta-alanine to create more carnosine. As a secondary effect, improvements in body composition can be seen, that being increase in lean mass and decrease in fat mass. This is because the athletes or trainees taking the supplement would see an increased work capacity or training volume because of the attenuation to fatigue. And that is all. Thank you.